Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Scott and this is Scott Sews. Today I'm going to show you how to alter a curtain. The curtain here is the grommet slash ring top style curtain. This curtain is going to be hanging above a doorway. The overall length at the moment is 230 centimeters and it needs to be 205. So to take our measurement for our curtain, if we hadn't already established the length, we first measure from the very top of the curtain just to establish how much fabric we have, and I know that this curtain is 230 centimeters. And then what we do is we put our measuring tape at the underside of the top of the grommet slash ring top, because this is where the curtain pole is going to be at the very top. Obviously the ring pole doesn't sit at the bottom. Gravity's putting the curtain to the top, so that's where the curtain pole is going to be. So that's where you need to take your measurement from. So from there you then measure down to where you want your curtain to be, which is 220, because that's where we're going to do our cut. So we're going to be making a mark here, and then we'll be cutting off the rest of the curtain. So that's how we make our measurement. If you had a curtain that doesn't have a grommet, say a heading tape, a heading tape usually has 3 places for you to put your hooks: the top, middle and bottom. I would go for the middle of the heading tape, because that will sort of put you in the same position that this sort of ring top is at the moment, because it will help give you a bit more leeway from the curtain, the way it hangs, because sometimes if you have your hooks too close to the top, but obviously you'll see the rings that you're hanging them from, and that never looks particularly nice. So I would always go maybe for the middle or maybe the bottom, but wherever it is, simply by flipping over your heading tape and measuring, just like what we're doing with this ring top, measuring from where the curtain hook will be down your curtain, and factoring in obviously your hem allowance, and then marking it off on the fabric, and then that would be your finished length. And again, you wouldn't with a heading tape curtain, you would never take your measurement from the very top, because you would have the same problem with this. If we took our measurement from the top of the curtain, it would be this bit too short. So we always have to take it from where the actual hardware of whether it's a curtain pole or a curtain hook, wherever that's going to be, that's where we need to take our measurement from. So I hope I've explained that enough for you. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make my measurement for this curtain. I'm going to mark it off, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have just measured down to the 220 mark. There is only about a 10 centimeter sort of difference with these curtains, but it still needs to be adjusted because they'll be too long. So I've measured and just marked here my 220 mark. So I'm going to flip the curtain open and do a line the whole way across the curtain. Any mark I make here won't be seen on the finished curtain when it's finished. So I'm going to flip it open and do my mark for my cutting, and cut off this bit here, and then I can fold up the hem, and I'll show you that when I've done that. Okay, so I have cut the length that I need. I've just taken off the pre-made hem here. I have to say that the stitch line on this pre-made hem was quite wonky, especially for a professionally made curtain. I don't know how much these cost my sister, but it was quite bad. Anyway, so I used my pinking shears to cut the hem, just in case there's any unraveling of this fabric. And all I'm going to do now is then take up my 15 centimeters to make my hem, and obviously iron that, and then double it over for my 7.5 centimeter hem, and iron it again to set the hem, and then I'm going to sew along it, and I'll show you that when I've done that. Right, so I have just ironed the 15 centimeter hem here. So what I'm going to do now is just fold it over to get the 7.5 one that will finish this curtain. I forgot that I pinned the other end, which doesn't help me here. I have to say that this fabric was a bit of a faff. It has a bond on the back because it's an insulated curtain. So when I was trying to fold this over and measure continually along here to make sure it was 15 centimeters consistently along, it wasn't giving me any play. Every time I would pull it, it would just really sort of jerk it forward. So it was a bit of a faff, but this one did need to be cut and altered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along and fold this over and then pin it, and then I'm going to sew, iron and then sew along this, and this will be this particular curtain finished, and I'll show you that when it's done. Okay, so I've now pinned up the hem. What I'm going to do now before I sew it is I'm just going to check the finished length, just make sure I'm happy with that and adjust anything if I need to, and then I'm going to sew along the bottom and finish off the curtain, and I'll show you that when it's done. Okay, so I've now finished this curtain and I've hemmed it at the back. This was a bit of a nightmare because the bond on the back is made of rubber, and I had a few mishaps with the stitches. The tension was a bit of a problem because the machine didn't particularly like the bond, but I got there in the end. So that's that done. So that is how you take up a curtain.